Hi, everybody. I'm Mike, and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. Today's quote: in life's battles, be a warrior, not a worrier. Life can be a wonderful thing. A lot of fun, a lot of experiences, a lot of people to meet along the way. But life can also be like a battle. It's not like we go to war with other people, but it's a battle because things come up in our life that are threatening and frightening and scary, and we have to face those. We're going through some really tough things right now in our life, and you are, I am, many people, as we go through this time of pandemic, which we've never been through anything quite like this as a country. We have threats of illness, threats of job loss. Many have lost their jobs, or many people that have their own business have had their businesses closed down because they just couldn't maintain because of the shutdowns that we're going through. The economy seems to be unstable. We're facing this crazy election, and so many things are at stake, and I don't know. It can be stressful if you think about it too much. We've been through some tough times with the riots, and there's still quite a bit of unrest. The fire season seems to be bigger than ever, and we're still experiencing shutdown. We're still not free just to go and do what we want to do. Many stores are not open, or they were open and then they close, and it's stressful. Facing a lot. And the quote says, as we go through life's battles, everybody has them. Be a warrior, not a worrier. There are two approaches to life, and the quote mentioned those. And the first one I want to look at with you is being a worrier. Worriers are people who are fearful. They see only what can go wrong. They're catastrophic thinkers. They see the worst case scenario, and they have vivid imaginations, and they can make things really big in their minds. They do a lot of what if thinking. What if thinking by itself is really not a bad idea. We've probably all used it to some degree when we're planning a project or trying to do a presentation at work or something. And we try to think of all the possible scenarios of how this might go so that we can have plans for, if that happens, this is what we can do. And that's a great idea. But what if thinking from a worrier is just catastrophic thinking of all that could possibly go wrong? What if I lose my job? What if I can't pay my mortgage? What if I can't pay for daycare anymore? What if my partner is cheating on me? What if I pass out somewhere when I go out on errands? What if this spot that I have growing on my body is cancer? What if I do something, a blunder on the freeway and cause a major accident? Or what if I touch a dirty doorknob and end up with COVID, get sick, and die? These are outlandish. Some of these, might happen. But you just review and think about, well, I've been through some hard things before. I'll get through that. So we'll deal with that when it comes up. And then some are just like, what? They're kind of crazy. But it's always negative. It's always fearful. And it's always expecting the worst to happen. Worry is a habit. It's automatic. Something triggers, you automatically worry about it. It's a habit. In that kind of a worry habit, our focus is on things we just can't do anything about, or they're not even our responsibility. And things get bigger when you focus on them. Worry is destructive. Our body is designed with what is often called a fight or flight syndrome. And when something is a true threat to us, our body will gear up and our organs will do more. Some organs will slow down that aren't needed for the process so the other organs can do more. Our muscles tighten up. Everything is geared up to fight or fly, run away. And we're designed by this. And then after the threat is over, our body will begin to calm down, relax. Worry is a trigger for this fight or flight. The brain doesn't know. It's just we're worried about something and it's probably not a real thing. It just goes into action because we're worrying. And if we worry a lot, pretty chronic worrier, it's causing physical damage. It's weakening your immune system. It's damaging your digestive system. It's causing high blood pressure. It's affecting your heart in a negative way. It's causing chronic headaches. It's keeping you awake at night. You're constantly irritated. You can't focus on something for very long. And worry is a total waste of time. Worry does not accomplish anything. Nothing has ever been accomplished by worry. Even if you get a bunch of people together and they all worry at the same time, it doesn't do anything. And specialists tell us that many of the things we worry about don't even happen. And if they did, it may not be as bad. Usually it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. And if it does happen, then you'll deal with it. People who are worriers in their approach to life have no peace, no joy, no fun, and they prevent themselves from ever doing anything to help them grow and reach their potential because they worry themselves out of it. When it comes to facing the life battles that we all face, the quote says, "Don't be a worrier, but be a warrior." Being a warrior is a better approach to life. We're not talking about being a fighter with people. We're not talking about being hard to get along with and attacking people and being argumentative and disagreeable and always opposing people. We have way too many people like that already. We don't want to add to that list of people. Warriors and worriers start out kind of the same. We're both living life. We both experience threatening, hard times. Both admit their fears and concerns. And then they take different paths. Warriors are proactive. They prepare in advance. They anticipate and get ready. So they're not always caught off guard. They search for solutions when a problem or a threat arises. They do what they can about it, whatever they're facing, and they let the rest go. They fight the threat, the problem. They're not passive. They're not just sitting around waiting to be overrun by whatever the newest worry is. Warriors are confident and positive. They enjoy life. They make the best of life. It's the same life a warrior has. But they enjoy it and they make the best of it. And if they're awake at night thinking about the problem, often they're going to come up with a solution. They're going to wake up in the morning with this, I know what I'm going to do about that. Their question is not what if, but the question they ask themselves is, what can I do about this? What action can I take? The antidote for worry is action. So they're going to take action. Now, these two approaches to life are choices that we can make. And it seems like not, right? You're like so worried. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't be a warrior. But they really are choices that we can make and habits that we can develop. So if you want to become a warrior, a couple of little things that will start turning you away from worry. And it starts with just writing down what you are worried about, what you're concerned about. Write it down. And then look at that list and you ask yourself this question: what can I do? What action can I take as you work through the list? Sometimes as you work through the list, you're going to see that some of these things you've been worried about are just not reasonable. They're kind of crazy. Like, man, that's probably not going to happen. And if you're such a worrier that you can't even make that kind of decision, that chances are that won't happen. Unless I have a history of fainting and passing out, probably when I go out, I'm not going to pass out somewhere. So you can begin to check some things off the list. It's probably not going to happen. But you want to look through the list and say, what can I do? And once you come up with some clear action that you could do about that problem, about that worry, then you want to take action as soon as you can. Because action is an antidote for worry. Stop procrastinating. Worriers always procrastinate. And procrastination adds to worry and stress because you got this long list of things you got to get done, you're not getting done. You want to write it down, look at the list, asking, what can I do? And then start taking action. You also want to stop the what if thinking, the catastrophic thinking of this, what if this happens? What if that happens? You want to try to catch yourself doing that. And when you say something, a what if kind of a thing, you want to ask yourself, okay, what can I do about that? This is going to interrupt that cycle of what if thinking, and it's also going to push you toward looking at these things as, what can I do about it? And if there's an action that you can do about it, then do it. And let the rest go. As best you can, let it go. And you want to try to learn to be okay with being around things that are out of your control and not freaking out about it. And it helps sometimes just to say, boy, I'm really glad I'm not in charge of that problem. Oh, I'm sure glad that isn't my problem. The last thing that'll help you be a warrior is to get into faith. You know, it's kind of interesting that many doctors, many counselors, psychiatrists say that people who spend regular time in prayer and meditation worry less. That's interesting. And that's why I advocate getting into faith. Real faith is about trusting in something bigger than you, stronger, more powerful than you. And it's something that you can turn to when you're facing a threatening, scary, hard time. You can turn to that and draw strength and comfort from it. That's what real faith is all about. Many people say they have faith, and I say, good. You want that to become a prominent part of your life. You want to have regular time of prayer, reflecting and thinking about, meditating on Scripture. It'll strengthen your faith, strengthen your understanding of God and what He does. Many people say that they've tried faith and it didn't really work for them. I say, okay, what was your faith in? Because faith is only as good as its object. The object of your faith has to be bigger than you, outside of you. That's what you trust in. Some people say they have faith, but it's really just religion. And religion is not helpful. I hate to say that, but I mean, that was my job for a long time. But religion is usually something that's man-made, and it's man's idea of how to get to God and how to stay close to God. And it's always about rules, procedures, and beliefs. We're talking about the need we all have to experience a love relationship with God that's based on grace, putting your faith in God. There might be rules connected to that. There might be procedures of how you do that. And there are certainly beliefs about God. But it's all about a love relationship with God. And Jesus spoke about worry, and he said that when we begin to compare and we see how God provides for birds in the air and lilies of the field, they do their thing and there's no worry, no stress. And he says, if God cares for something like that, think how much he's going to care for you, because you're more valuable to him than those things are. A love relationship with God causes us to see how valuable we are and how much we can trust God to care for us and help us. And I think getting into faith is a valid choice when it comes to facing life. It'll help you become a warrior in life and get away from being a worrier. It's a good quote. It's a great principle. In life's battles, be a warrior, not a worrier. Thank you so much for listening. I hope there's something here that's been helpful to you, that encourages, kind of builds you up a little bit. Or maybe you know somebody who's been struggling with this, and you're welcome to share this with them. And if this has been helpful to you, I hope you'll click thumbs up or like or subscribe. Put these out every Tuesday. So until next week, I hope you have a good, healthy week and that you don't worry as much this week. Thanks.